everyone. This is Jared RAND, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, January 22, 2025, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for change call tonight after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about what's happening and where we're going as a planet. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dream and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. Henry David Thoreau. We have kind of it's a disconnect. So we're connected, but we're disconnected. It might sound a little strange, but on one hand, we know somewhat the physical material body, right? We know a lot of things that we've experienced. On the other hand, we don't know how much more powerful we are than we could ever imagine. Now, you should imagine if everyone on the planet were on the same page. And they knew, they had no doubt, total faith and confidence in themselves and the universe. They knew within their heart minds that they have the ability to manifest anything that they desire just by continuously holding their positive attention upon it. That is one tiny piece of knowledge is enough to create a massive transformation in our own lives. We have this effortless power that we contain within us. We have the body, we have the power. Now, it's by choice to discover that we truly are this power. You have the power, are you the power? And then finally, re-embrace it. Long time ago, long time ago, this civilization we knew who and what we were. We were. We knew our power. We knew our different abilities. We were heart-minded beings. And then somewhere along the line, I guess you could call it, decided to go into lower frequencies to experience it. And so that's what we did. Unfortunately, when we did that, we went through different levels of readjusting. Along the way, we came across the third dimensional frequency. And we ended up staying there. Other interferences that we weren't aware of, such as soul catchers and all kinds of things, way beyond most people's imagination. And so we've stayed here for, comparatively speaking, quite a long time. Now, we're determining that we don't care to we don't care to be in third dimension anymore. We have, as a collective consciousness, determined that we've been here long enough, and it's time for us to move on. Putting it real simple without complicating it. And so we have this direction, and so our focus and attention. Now, it doesn't have to be conscious. It can be unconscious or subconscious. we all have pretty much agreed as a collective consciousness that it's time. And so our vibrational frequencies are intentionally being uplifted. Now, eventually, okay, you will come to the realization that as our frequencies continue to increase through our direction, our guidance, a lifting will occur which has already started. It has nothing to do, now this may sound strange to many, but it has nothing to do with who's in charge, who's the boss, who's the leader on the planet. Nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with our decision to move on. Now, along this moving on process, we experience physicalities, different situations with our physical material bodies and things we haven't experienced before. Really might seem similar, but not quite on target. And then we have, it's kind of like an awakening where bit by bit things begin to come together. At first you can't, you see a piece here, a piece there, a piece here. It's pretty abstract. So you don't know, say, okay, let's just wait a little bit longer and see how this forms, the picture forms. Along this journey, this part of the journey, we begin to become aware of a lot of things. Not too much where it's overwhelming, because many on this planet would not function well at all if it was just poured upon them all at once. And I think we know that. So little by little, things begin to fall into place on a much higher vibrational frequency. We begin to open up to ourselves. We begin to forgive ourselves in a much deeper way than we could ever possibly have imagined before. We begin to embrace ourselves and love ourselves and develop intimate relationships with ourselves. And then we begin communication with the gods, the pure consciousness that we are. And we move into heart-mindedness. See, this way you begin to direct things. Okay? You know that basically you focus your attention on something and it is created into your life. But you know that. See, now, not so much, not even close so much, that we don't recognize it. We just kind of go, wow, where'd that come from? We don't correlate it or connect it. But as these vibrational frequencies continue to increase, we're learning a lot on a second-to-second basis. And as we all know, everything is changing. Your body's changing every split second. Everything outside of you is changing every split second. And yet, you're not sure, is this real or not? We know the only thing that is real is the God that we are in the body. Because it is divine perfection. Everything else is an illusion that we collectively have created to occupy, entertain, therefore, so that we can experience. By manifesting it. Everything. Even the tiniest little insect is manifesting, creating. It's very important that we understand, comprehend how we were born powerful beyond measure. Because it is something that cannot be taken away from us. There is nothing we can do to change this. This is what we're made up of. No matter how low any of us feel, we will always be the one creating our reality. Every thought we think is forming the world around us. And inside us, and best of all, it is all coming from a divine, unlimited source that is all loving. It's for us to simply realize and feel this intimate connection to an unlimited source of energy, love, divine intelligence, and a universal wisdom is within us at all times. It doesn't go anywhere. The moment we own this hidden, enlightening power within us, it will be unleashed. And as we let it out onto the world around us, we will see that we will be able to manifest anything. The more often we give it away, the deeper we realize that it is power. It is a power that no one can take away. With this understanding, we are all truly free. It's like, for many on this planet, we were all born with wings, so to speak. Yet we don't ever use them. We are enlightened beings, and we are creating an enlightened world, which then translates into a God-planet paradise. Now, some people may believe that it has, it depends on who's in charge and who's doing this, who's doing that. That's a separate, completely material, physical thing. It is us. It's our awakening. It's our direction that we've chosen. So then everything falls into place. The appropriate people come into play. Everything starts to happen. And the interesting thing is that the more you realize that we have collectively created this, and you're aware of that through heart-mindedness, and so it continues to expand and flourish. And you realize that nothing can stop it. Why is that? Because us gods have created it. Period. Not only that, not just us in this quadrant of the Milky Way galaxy, but all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever, which means beyond universes, beyond that which is beyond universes, and it continues. And see, that's why it's so important that we learn, we choose to learn, that our home is heart-mind, not ego-mind. That our ego-mind has served a wonderful purpose. More and more of us are realizing that we are able to move the ego-mind into servitude, right? When all this time, many lifetimes, it's been the master over us. That's huge. Slowly but surely, not overnight, we are recognizing the absolute truth to that. We're beginning to taste the difference between heart-mindedness and ego-mindedness. which is phenomenal. And in deep gratitude, we are so grateful that we've had the ego mind to teach us how to master it. See, we've been going along for a very long time, believing, for the most part, with all these religions on the planet and everything throughout the ages, and confusion and lack of guidance, lack of others having the knowledge or experience so they can share it with the new ones coming in. Seriously, there's a big void there. So we grab onto things that are old and antiquated and also don't hold truth. Now you can see how that can really put a civilization into an area of unknowing. You imagine the people on this planet that are very heavily steeped in material physical world and ego mind. So what happens with that? Anger, frustration, abrasiveness, disrespect for oneself and others. And it's coming. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that there? Why has that been there through our civilization for so very long? Because it's ego mind. We're protecting our ego when that happens. That's what we're doing. And a lot of the times, since we don't have an intimate relationship with ourselves, okay? So a lot of times when we get angry, it's kind of like love under pressure. Because we don't know ourselves, we haven't taken the time to become intimate with ourselves, forgive ourselves, love ourselves, be tender and kind with ourselves, humble and generous. So it's kind of a frustration. And of course it can pull people into some crazy, deep, dark trenches. Now, a lot of us believe that, you can't focus on someone and send them deep, eternal love. You can't do that. That's just crazy stuff. Doesn't work. Doesn't happen. Right? And all along, that's part of our power. You see someone sick, right? Maybe you have a loved one that's ill, a friend, or just a stranger. Now, what do most of us? Most of us will feel bad or low, depressed because this loved one or friend is ill. Right? And then we view them as ill, which adds to the illness. And sometimes we will superficially pretend that they're healthy and everything. Very rarely do we come from the heart mind and view them as happy and healthy in the very moment, in the very now. That's part of our power. And it is a challenge for many because no one was ever really guided into the spiritual direction, really, truly. And then spiritual got mixed up with religion. And it has nothing to do with religion. Most of the religions on this planet, just about all of them, are man-made. Some with good intentions, some with no good intentions at all. Used as a front to create violence and interaction and abrasiveness. In other words, separation, which we know is an illusion. So, the separation is that I don't like you, because you're this. Isn't that crazy? It's just, when you're heart-minded with it, you look at it and you just kind of chuckle and say, wow, that is crazy. And as we move more and more in higher vibration through choice and knowing, and you can see as things are changing. Now, remember, the ego mind, you have not mastered it yet. So it's there. It's very powerful. So it will do things to cause you to focus on things that are low vibrational frequency. Knowing that, really truly knowing that, it means you're halfway there. And so when you do that, knowingly, and it's heart-minded, you shift. You shift everything. Not only within you, but outside of you. We have seen throughout the ages where one being influences millions, right? Isn't it ironic that every one of us have this God power, this pure consciousness power, which we truly are, and all of us are of it, yet we don't know how to use it. Isn't that wild? Now, it is frustrating because sometimes we'll move it and do what we can to apply it. But then that ego mind's there and, it didn't work, and oh boy, I put so much time and effort and it didn't work. It's because the one thing that stops us is not knowing that by feeling doubt, we stop it. Which means we don't believe truly, fully in ourselves. We don't have the 100% faith and trust in ourselves in this universe. That's the only reason. That area right there is the only reason why we don't have everything we desire or want. And the interesting thing is, everything you desire or want, you already have. And that's kind of a tricky thing because many of us, we don't comprehend that. Not a negative. We just don't comprehend it yet. See, we've been taught to feel guilty and, you can't have that much. That's just ridiculous. Or you can't have your cake and eat it too. These are all sayings that have been created throughout the ages that are repeated and reinforced. But the interesting thing is, the term, you can't have your cake and eat it too, is false. It's a control mechanism. It's to convince you that you can't. And it's worked very well, hasn't it? So someone says, you know what, Jim, you can't have your cake and eat it too. And Jim says, well, I'm divine perfection in this body. And I move more and more in my heart mind every day. And I doubt myself less and less. And my faith and confidence in myself has grown exponentially, as it has with this universe. And so the guilt's not there, see? Maybe you have too much. Maybe you have too much. That's not good. Right? That's not good. You have too much. You're greedy. Society, human psyche. And you just say to yourself, I love experiencing things. I am enjoying this life. So what we're here to do is enjoy this life. How many of us enjoy it? And because we believe that we're not the architects of our life, we believe that too, see? Can't change your destiny, which is false. Can you change your future? You're making it every single second. It's being aware of that. And as you've heard me share, there's three sides to the coin in our journey. And the journey is it's the edge of the coin. It's the center path. The other side, the heads and the tail side. Those are the experiences where you have something, you manifest something, but you haven't looked at the other side of that something. You have a lot of money, all of a sudden you have a lot of money, and then the flip side of that on the other side is what? Responsibility, orchestrating, managing, protecting, all those things that you don't think about until it's in your lap. In the quiet time of this meditation, imagine, visualize, just listen, watch, feel. You're looking at a God planet paradise, which means that we are gods in body. We use these bodies to experience physical material life. Okay? Learn. Move to higher levels of divine perfection. Earth is the body. Heaven is you, the pure consciousness, the God within that body. That's what truly heaven on earth means. You're the heaven. There is no heaven somewhere in the sky above you. That is a matrix construct. You are the heaven. You always have been. You will always be throughout eternity. You're the heaven. Every one of us are the heaven. But we were taught differently. We all know that. It's not necessarily negative. No. We were taught differently. Now, many of us are beginning to identify and comprehend the fact that we are the heaven. Now, some people might be different, act different, do different things. Oh, they can't be heaven. It's the body, not the God within it, that's doing those things. How can this planet become a God planet paradise? Where life returns to it. Where it flourishes. Fauna, creatures, different life starts expanding, growing, flourishing, awakening across the planet. Total, deep, eternal love for all things. Where you guide yourself because you know exactly who and what you are through heart-mindedness. You have mastered the ego mind. It is no longer there. You have mastered your thoughts. So you're the guide. You're the master and commander of your existence. You become directly aware that you are part of the all, of the one. You always will be. You can't change it. Period. Ever. And because of that, there are enough of us that are aware enough to start shifting everything on this planet. And that's why it's so imperative to continually embrace the heart-mind. Because through the heart-mind, you will master the ego-mind. It will be in servitude to you, rather than you to it. Fears will be gone. In heart-mindedness, there are no fears. In the now, like in this meditation, you're in the now. There's no fear, there's no worry, there's no stress, there's no anxiety. There shouldn't be, unless you're still in ego-mind while you're in the now, which can't be. So that means that you're still in ego-mind thinking you're in heart-mind. This is why it's so important that you relax into the body. You find a comfortable space. You relax into your body. You have no outside distractions. You're as still as a statue. You're focused on your breath rising and falling and the space between heartbeats. And you listen. Now join in the meditation. I'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And take an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focused on the breath rising and falling, the space between heartbeats. We are all deeply and eternally loved. You repeat these sacred words 10 times today and feel them open up your heart. Feel them open up your heart. I am deeply and eternally loved. Open yourself more than ever, so that you're sensing the divine abundance that surrounds you right now. You are so deeply and eternally loved in more ways than you may ever know. This universe has gifted you, all of us, with so much love, laughter, and life experience. Truly appreciating our life today is by far the very best way we can start repaying the favor. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here tonight, the time for change call, after 9:15 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, January 22 already, 2025. We'll be talking about what's really happening, what's transpiring, what has been engaged, and where are we going. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, deepest, purest of the purest, purest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on out there or within you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.